Welcome back, folks, to World of Warships Legends. I'm Soopa-Dave, and today's build and play guide is on the Pan-Asian cruiser Irian. I know what's wrong. Dave pronounced something right. Yeah, no, I looked it up. I was sick of calling it the Iranian. But that being said, guys, let's get into the commander build. Now, I'll be very clear. I haven't really started to do the presets. If I would, this is actually the build I would personally use on it, okay? Um, Now, I'm going to show you what I had on it, and I'll show you why I wouldn't take it. We're using Mikawa, Membeli, Beyond Range, Igniter, back in stock. Do not take Blazing Battle Nance. You want to take Knuckle Duster. You don't have smoke, alright? And don't take fully packed. Refill station is a better option. So that's why you see here I did do my preset for it. Also, I mean, you could use the default Shikao in Ishikun, and it's going to be just fine on this ship, right? Um, Very similar outcome. These commanders are very similar in a lot of ways. You get some fire chance with them, and honestly, Shikao might be the better option on it. Um, but let's get into the modifications. Aiming systems mod 1, propulsion mod 2, concealment is always in the third slot, and in the last slot, main battery 3. For your loadouts, you do have 3 good sonars. Now, you should have 2 because you should be taking refill station on the ship. Reason being is you don't really need these extra consumables, right? The sonars could come in handy, but the other 2 not so handy. And I know it sounds crazy because it's a heal, but it's not a very good heal. It's only 200 and 5 per second, so it's not a good heal. Um, and the torpedo reload boosters, the reason I'm running fully packed in the match that you guys are going to see is because I was testing out to see if I thought fully packed was a good option. I wouldn't do fully packed, I'd do refill station. It would get your reload down. Also, the sonar at 5 kilometers, good sonar for panning your Asians, by the way. Now, hit points 41,000, but that could say 1 on it for the most part. You got to be careful in the ship, guys. You wait till you guys see the armor on this thing. Um, you got to be careful. Main guns, you have 12 152s, and these are good. Do not get me wrong. They're a little inaccurate, actually, for a cruiser. Um, in my that I found, and I haven't been shooting them at full distance like you could. The 180 turn time on them, not good for a light cruiser, right? So uh, it does take a while for these to turn around, but being I play all ship classes, it doesn't really affect me that much. And your HE is what you're going to be mostly using out of this thing. You can see too, it also is got the hidden trait, and we'll show you also that that hidden trait is actually better than what you think here. Um, but one thing to note before we move off of the guns, make sure or you realize this thing's got a 16.8 fire chance, right, on this build. You can get it to 17. You could even go crazier, build into the fire even more, but I don't know why. Literally a flamethrower. Um, these guns, when you get a chance to just wide open shoot these guns for 15 minutes, this thing is going to put up some absolutely gnarly numbers. Irian here is very much like Bayard, in my opinion. Um, if you Bayern, Blazing Dread, uh, Dalian, any of these ships where if you can unload, you're gonna do some serious damage if you can unload for 15 minutes. Um, it just absolutely will pound the living bejesus out of everybody because you have 12 of them that reload every 6 seconds with a 17% fire chance. Like, I do not think, while you're not doing a ton of damage with these guns, the fire damage that will come out of this, I can't wait down the road. I'm going to have some pretty gnarly games in this because I'm starting to get um, I'm definitely finding my groove in these cruisers that have the glass citadels, which I've been talking about, like Bayard. I'm definitely finding that, like Hampshire, same thing. Um, I'm starting to get good at them ships, and there's a lot of damage potential in them. A lot, trust me. And this ship is no different. Torpedoes. So not only do you have really flamethrowers for guns, you have very solid torpedoes. And I mean solid. When these hit people, you know it. Now, uh, they also have really good range. The people are not going to see these without a sonar until they're in their face. They are deep water torps, and they are very good. I do like them. They have great firing angles. To be honest, though, with the problem with these torps, right, is the ship without smoke, you're not going to be out in open water a whole lot. So you have to have people charging you a lot of times to use these. Now you can throw these out when you get the chance, but a lot of times you're gonna be behind island cover with these. And with that being said, you don't get to use them as much as you'd like. And this ship isn't nearly as shifty for a light cruiser as what you would think. So you kind of don't want to be kiting too much in this ship. Definitely island cover is going to be your opportune place, but it kind of takes the torpedoes out. AA defense, it's not terrible. I wouldn't say it's amazing either, though. Maneuverability, that's so you guys can see. The rudder's pretty slow on this. If you're going to kite on this, I would actually take the steering gears instead of prop mod to really get this thing to, you know, get shifty. It's not really that shifty. Um, but outside of that, pretty average on the maneuverability. Concealment 8.7. You can get this down to 8.2. I did do that for a few matches. You could use it as like a big destroyer if you wanted with these torpedoes that it does have. Um, and the concealment on this thing is awesome. And it does matter because there's gonna be times when you are moving island cover and you just don't want to shoot your guns to get spotted, right? Like it could be real bad for you. Stats in this thing, you can see pretty good actually. 75,000 damage per match. While that doesn't seem like a lot, um, my damage has come from the guns and the torpedoes, not necessarily the fires. And I can assure you that is a effective 75,000 damage. You're going to see a match um, today where it's not a ton of damage, but you're going to see I completely change the game in it with the damage that I do. Uh, you can see too, I've actually survived 50% of the battles. That is obnoxious. Okay. This thing is not going to stay that way. I'm going to survive probably 30% of these battles. This thing is not tanky. But you can see I've killed a few ships with torpedoes, and you can see the main gun accuracy at 39. That feels about right. These guns, even up close, they're not accurate, which is okay on a HE spammer like this because you want it to spread out across the whole ship, and it ends up working out for you. But this is the real issue with the ship, guys. Yep. For those of you guys who don't know what you're looking at, this is a 26 millimeter bow and stern plus the entire ship. Why is that a problem? Anything over or anything 15-inch guns or above, this is what the ship looks like, right? And that is a big citadel. It's above the water. It takes up basically the entire ship everywhere. And I can assure you, if you get hit by a battleship that knows what you're doing, you are dead. There is no, oh, I'm going to get away with overpens. No, not on this ship. You're just dead. All right? This will be I guarantee you almost a laughing stock for battle, or a laughing, give many people laughing fits in battleships. Because if you get caught in this thing in open water, it is not good. And ask me how I know, because it's happened a few times, guys. Right? And there, you're gonna see even up against like Siegfried, because you guys are gonna see me up against the Siegfried in a match. That overmatches you as well. So uh, I'm telling you, you gotta be careful. And you don't have much armor on this thing at all. That Citadel is screaming hit me at everywhere you are, and the side is so flat on this ship, right? That it's just not good for protection. This is not tanky ship. However, it is a DPM monster in my opinion. As we start the match, it's disclaimer time. This is a beginner's video meant to help people new to the ship or new to the game. This is not meant for professional gamers that know everything there is to know about everything in the universe. There are multiple ways to play and build this ship, and I am an above average player, not the world's best. I make mistakes. You may see one in this match. You didn't come here for pronunciations. I'm as good as anybody at slaughtering beautiful languages all the time. With that out of the way, we are on northern waters. And we're going to use our detection to get in close. Now, I know there isn't a destroyer, but a lot of matches, you can kind of figure out if there's a destroyer on your side, right? Just by guessing at the layout. If there's one or two destroyers, you might not have one on your side and you want to get in close. And actually, with your detection anyway, you could generally get in pretty close. So we have one battleship leaving us completely, which is going to be awesome. We're going to have amazing teammates on this side. It happens. I'm not complaining. But sometimes you realize when you're not going to have a lot of team help. And we're going to throw our torpedoes in that gap, because a lot of times you'll get people that push up through that gap, especially secondary ships, and we know there's a few of them in this match. We're going to use our reload booster and send another set out. These torps really do hurt when they hit people, as you guys seen from the clip. So we spot Bismarck charging in, which normally we would expect coming through that gap. Also, in this match here, as you're going to see, we're start spotting people. The servers are not ideal lately in the morning, and I know it's not internet, but for me, but the servers have been rough. So you're gonna see some weird stuff server related here in this match. So anyway, we're gonna hit Colorado. We're gonna use these island cover, but you can see these are not lobbing crazy high for light cruiser guns. That's another interesting thing about it, actually. We're gonna use this island cover. We're gonna get this cap, because in these matches where there isn't a lot of destroyers, getting caps is huge, right? And we have the detection for it. And that's what we're gonna do, is we're gonna light up this Colorado here in this match. You're gonna see, just because I'm in a light cruiser, I'm not gonna shy away from stuff. Now, you do have to be completely butt puckered at all times, because at any given moment you could be erased from a map if you are not paying attention. I've been able to stay alive pretty well in this ship, but I understand that people are going to have a rough time as we get our solo capture. This has a very high skill ceiling in this match. Now, we're not going to do the world's most amount of damage, but we're going to be super effective. And it's going to be a good showcase of the ship. Now, we have Siegfried here. If you don't know about Siegfried, it might have a cruiser symbol on it, but it literally has the 15-inch guns, basically, like Bismarck does, right? So he overmatches me. I have got to be careful here, right? We got the cap, and I want to protect it. I don't want to just run away right now. But you're going to see here, we do have a cruiser that does come over to try and help. And we do have a battleship hiding behind the mountain, right? So really, we're not ideal here. And the prop mod has saved me right there by getting going, and he just pegs the last of my back of my ship. And we're going to try to use this island to protect our citadel a little bit. It's really not working. We're more relying... You're going to run across a lot of German ships at this tier, a German. And you're banking on making yourself really narrow like this. You can see even the one shells that do hit, they hurt, right? They really hurt. You're just trying to make yourself as skinny as possible. Because a lot of times when you run up in Germans, they're not going to have the world's best accuracy, obviously. Siegfried is not terrible for a German ship. But, again, we are just doing our best. And you do have plenty of DPM with just your front guns, right? It's just like Bayard or Colbert or any of them French ships that you have enough DPM with your front guns that you don't have to get all your guns on target, and that it will get you killed if you try to do that too often, right? But if you get into a position where you unleash these guns, they are absolutely crazy. With the fire chance on these things and the 12 rounds that come out every 6 seconds, it is a DPM monster. Colorado is asking for spotting support from a light cruiser. That is, you know, I can't get much closer into this battle, Mr. Colorado. So we're going to do our best here to give them a little bit of spotting without putting ourselves at risk. And we know that we're getting pushed here by Bismarck, so we got to be careful. Also, one thing with the ship, though, is you see how forward that front mast is? That is where you're detected. So a lot of times you may want to actually go in reverse around these islands like I am right here, because as our teammate gets the depth struck, that did come over to help in the Plymouth. So we know that Bismarck probably not a terrible player, but you can see we're spotted just with their front hanging out, and that's because of that front mast. So you can get away with your rear guns being out. Now we're not hitting because we're smoking the island, so we're going to back up and kind of readjust here. And we're going to try to catch his Bismarck off guard. He's not going to expect. I'm trying to watch what he's doing here. And he's starting to get focused on our battleship, who I can't believe is even spotted at this point, hiding behind the island. We're going to go ahead and just pop out for a second, scare the bejesus out of him, and we're going to get the prop mod going again. As you can see, all them ships shells end up behind me or hitting the rear of my ship, so I'm getting real lucky there. That's what I mean with the ship. It does take a high skill ceiling. Now here, we are going to go ahead and start to kite out. Why is that? We are getting pushed with 2 ships, right? Siegfried, obviously, he gets too close. It's going to be real bad for me. So we're going to make our ship real narrow. And you can see all these shells are hurting, right? The ship, when you get overmatched, everything hurts. There is no, oh, I'm going to bounce some rounds off of a battleship caliber gun. Because Siegfried has 15-inch guns, right? They're not going to bounce. You got to make yourself skinny. Or use island cover, which I've basically been doing. Now, again, with these Pan-Asian ships, if people push you, it's not good for them. And this is going to be no different. We're going to use our torps. If he comes around the corner and chases us, it's not going to be good for him. But I don't want to give up this cap as we're backing away. So we're going to keep tapping each one of these guys to make sure that they don't get the cap. Right, and we're going to use our torpedo reload booster, and we're going to go ahead and send out another one as we do get our torpedo to kill Siegfried. He did have his butt hanging out a little too far, and you know, hard to detect that without his sonar. Obviously, these torps are going to be on you before you know it. Now we're going to take a real broadside turn here and catch them off guard and start coming back, because I do not want to give up this cap. It's a close match, as you guys can see. And even though we've been using our front guns the match, right? We haven't been using our whole set of guns, really. We already have 12 fires, right? This thing is an absolute flamethrower. is we are being absolutely frustrating to this Bismarck, right? You know, you can bounce shells off of cruisers, right? Like not Siegfried, but mostly every other cruiser, obviously. But this is a good showcase of just how to make yourself pretty skinny. We're gonna go ahead and speed up time a little bit, and we're going to get over here and use this island cover because we're going to try to go back and get that other cap. This is a very close match. 2 caps, ships are close. Anything could happen here. And we're going to start lobbing Vanguard here. And you can see these shells can be a little bit harder to aim at range, but not as hard as some cruisers like Atlanta and whatnot. These aren't nearly as... They don't go to the moon and back for a light cruiser. As you can see, the server really struggling right here. But we're going to go ahead and keep going. And, you know, right now, really, Vanguard, we're watching for shells, but Vanguard is who we got to pay attention to. And if Vanguard looks at us, you know, honestly, if Vanguard sneezes in our direction, the ship is going to blow up. So you got to be careful. Like battleships, and you're just going to wreck your day if you're not being aware. So once Vanguard is gone, really not a whole lot to worry about here. We're going to send some torps just in case Perfect 10 decides to rush us. We're going to get a couple hits on Perfect 10. But you're really just trying to get fires on people with this thing. And I'm telling you, I'm going to have some really gnarly matches on this. You get the right match where people are charging into you, or a position where you can just use these guns unlimited and get them on target. This ship is going to have some really insane games. Now, like I said, though, you have to survive. And you can see, even from a very inaccurate German shells, we were taking a beating just on normal, a few hits, right? So you can see kind of a good showcase here as D7 gets spotted as we finish up getting this cap. You just got to be careful on this thing. Other than that, you know, if you're a person that can handle light cruisers that don't have smoke, you're going to love this thing. But outside of that, it's going to be a high ceiling for a lot of people. I can see a lot of people not liking this ship, and I can see a lot of people loving it. I'm on the loving it side now, but you know, I can see why people may struggle on this ship here, as we are trying to go ahead and finish off D7 here. But you can see it, you know, for the most part, we used our front guns, and we had 15 fires. Like, this thing is going to be pretty gnarly. It's on Blazing Dread level of starting fires. But anyways, you can see a solid game. 3,200 base game. Obviously helping our team win. We will see you next time, folks. Have a good one.